Hello, friends. My name is Aslam Sheikh, your host for this evening. I'm a founder and CEO of Alif, a platform to promote the global perspective of education and career. This is our 77th career talk and broadcasted live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Every Friday, we aim to bring in the valuable speakers to discuss the topic that is important to you and for your career. For the benefits of the viewers who are joining us first time, Alif is the first alphabet in Arabic and Urdu language that signifies the beginning of education, and that's the reason why we named our company in that name. We've been named among the top 10 most recommended overseas education consultants by Insight Success. We have counseled over 23,000 students in the last 12 years, and we offer the students an option of 200 plus universities across 14 countries. So, with this short introduction, let's move on to our today's topic, which is very unique and first time we are addressing this particular topic, exploring Europe, especially Spain, Germany, and Switzerland for the business studies. And to discuss this exciting subject with us, we have expert speakers. So, let me do the honor of introducing him. Let's welcome Nick Collis. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Aslam. How are you? Hello to everyone in
I'm
India.
good.
Good evening.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. And Nick, I'll just quickly introduce you to our audience.
Sure.
Nick is the head of sales and recruitment. He's a team leader for marketing and student recruitment activities in South Asia and APAC. He's passionate about seeing students succeeded in EU Business School and embark on exciting careers in Europe. So, with this welcome note, let's start our today's session. So, friends, if you're watching from any platform, and if you have any question for us, do write into the comment box. If we have a time within these 30 minutes, we'll try definitely to address those questions. So, let's begin this session. And this session is very interesting. And first time we are picking up this topic because most of the time students are confused about picking and choosing the country and what could be the best option then by having a business school which has got its presence, a strong presence in all these three major European countries. So we thought that it would be a good idea to learn from the business school that what does it make to make a choice between these three countries. And since we are focusing today only on business schools, so if you have got any query related to business courses, be it undergrads or for postgrad like masters or MBA, feel free to contact us. Otherwise, we'll try our best to ask Nick relevant questions. So, Nick, we know that America, UK, and Australia has been a big market for last many decades. But for last 4 to 5 years, Europe is making a significant move in attracting a lot of international students. And reports suggest that a lot of students are looking out for these untapped market of Europe, whereby there is a huge opportunity being offered in terms of career and quality education by especially these three countries which we are today talking about. So we would like to know from you that since this trend is picking up, what's your say that why should student look at Europe as a business school study destination, especially considering these three countries? Nick.
Thanks, Aslam. Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, having traveled to Asia a lot, particularly to South Asia, India, I'm familiar obviously with the links that India has typically with the UK. There's an aspirational element as well with the US and New Zealand, Canada, Australia. These English-speaking countries are typically where Indian students aim to go. That said, we've seen a real change, I would say, in the last decade, where more and more students are becoming curious about the options in Europe. Europe typically has a great education system in place. These are countries and economies that are ancient in many ways. So the social systems are in place. And I think this is what's really exciting for Indian students. It's the quality of the institutions as well as the post-study opportunities as well.
Absolutely. So, if I just need to deep dive into this particular countries, uh, what is the significance of EU business school choosing these three countries in Europe, specifically Spain, Germany, and Switzerland? So, would you like to throw some lights on these three countries from a
Sure.
business course point of view?
So EU Business School is essentially a European, the DNA is European. It's business and it's Europe. So we are privileged to have campuses and have had campuses since 1973 in Europe. So we've been around for nearly 50 years now. We have chosen strategic locations. So whether it be our Swiss locations in Geneva and Montreux, or Barcelona in Spain, or Germany, Munich. We've chosen cities that are hubs for business. They're also fantastic places in terms of the work-life balance and opportunities for students. So we cover all those three bases. And in terms of proximity, students can easily transfer from one campus to another, or even attend events. There may be a recruitment event at our Barcelona campus, which students from Munich or from Switzerland, they can fly in for the weekend, attend the job fair, and then fly back to their campus where they're studying for the next week. So there are 1 hour flights, between these campuses.
Right. So, friends, it's as easy as traveling from within India from one city to another city. You travel there one country to another country within 1 hour of flight,
It's
and
like going
that's
from Navi
amazing.
Mumbai to northern Mumbai. Yeah.
That's true, and that's a very interesting point which Nick is making, friends. That gives you, in a true sense, a global exposure when we are talking about going for an international education, and that's the core of higher education being done in abroad. Nick, the very next common question which usually students and parents ask, and that's what they have also requested us to ask you, is that you chose, as a school, you chose all three major European countries, but interestingly, they are all non-native English-speaking countries. So, as a student or parent, I was just concerned that is it a right move, or what kind of challenges will I be facing if I move into non-English native-speaking country, and what could be the solution, or what do you got to say, and how do you see this question?
No, excellent question. I think the world has seen globalization accelerate. That's definitely not changing. We're in a digital age. Things are only accelerating. The world is only getting smaller. So all the large, multinationals, especially the tech firms, have European headquarters. Let's take Munich, for example. In Munich, you've got Microsoft, Google, Amazon. You've got Apple, which has recently invested over $1 billion in the city. So Indians typically come with a strong reputation for electrical engineering backgrounds, or mechanical or technical backgrounds. And if you can use that plus your proficiency in English, it definitely opens an interesting window of opportunity for Indian students. So you may not get this in New Zealand or the UK, Australia, US. So this is definitely something to consider in Spain, like a city like Barcelona or Munich in Germany.
Right. So, do you? I mean, that's right. That's a very English. It's a very international city. But do
Mm.
I, as a student, do I need to learn the language in order to complete my studies, or it's been all taught in English?
So in these big cities, for the first question, do you need to know the local language to get employed? You don't. So that's a fact. You don't. For mini jobs, for a lot of different work that you can find during your studies, just English and a little bit of Spanish, German, or French in Geneva, you can get by and get a little bit of working experience. However, obviously, if you want to develop and you want to really have a career and a life in the country, it's normal that you start studying the language, So we recommend, for example, students going to Germany to have at least A1 or A2 under their belt before they actually start their studies. And those are the students that are really progressing and doing incredibly well now, those that have studied and been consistent in their studies of the local language. But to answer your question, all studies at EU Business School are in English.
Okay, I think that's a very important answer, Nick. Thank you very much. So, friends, if you're looking for these countries, first thing is that the entire language of instruction is in English, so you don't have to worry about being foreigner in a foreign with a foreign language. And on top of that, what rightly Nick said is that the cities where the campuses are located, they are the major cities of a respective country, and they are the global city itself, and they have got the global atmosphere and community living in, and they all speak very normally English language, and yes, if you're looking for a long term perspective, if you're having a long term goal for a long duration career, or you want to maybe have a better lifestyle and you want to live beyond duration of the normal student's life, then yes, you would want to pick up the local language that will ease up your living and experience in that particular country. Thank you, Nick. So on this point, I just want to also touch upon some of the points which my team has suggested me to speak about. So Germany, friends, is the fourth ranked economy in terms of quality of innovation. And very important, you want to note down is that German unemployment remains one of the lowest in Europe. That's just around 5%, wherein across the Eurozone, EU zone, the unemployment ratio is around 11%. So that also makes sense to have a look at EU campus, which is located in Munich. And when you talk about Switzerland, one very interesting research note which has been shared here is that it's world's number one innovative country in the world. So if
Yes.
you want to be among the innovators and young community, and that's where the place you want to be in. And interestingly, it's also been ranked number one for the expats to live. So it's been loved by the expats as a country to live in. So these are some important points which you would want to keep in mind, apart from just typical academics points, why you want to go into that particular city or that particular country. On similar notes, let's move further. So coming down to the university and school point of view, Nick, uh, after having understood that why these countries and cities are important, now when as a student, when I look at the schools, there are plenty of options to choose from. um, we know that EU Business School has got a very high reputation and has been ranked among top 50 in Europe for business studies. But we'd like to know more from you that why one should look at EU Business School.
Oh, great question. Rankings are an indicator. They're not the be all and end all. And I think what we're encouraged about is recognition, especially on entrepreneurship. We have this year, that's something that QS, which is an independent British-based ranker, they're ranking us, yes, our MBA in the top 50 in Europe. But they've really highlighted entrepreneurship, which is something which is part of the DNA of the business school. At EU, whether you study a bachelor's or an MBA, a lot of the drive is going to be toward critical thinking, those soft skills, being able to present well, a lot of leadership skills, and really not fostering, an atmosphere of entrepreneurship. So this is something we found, really proud about. Diversity is another point that EU really excels in, and then obviously very, very international. Whether it be the faculty or the students, you're definitely going to be meeting students from all over the world, people that can really enrich your personal life and give you a better understanding of how the world works. So those are some elements that I would highlight, and I think that make unique, EU really unique.
Absolutely. In India also, there is a drive of startup, and a lot of talks has been going on about the entrepreneurship. In fact, we have seen that there are lots of incubators have been formed, not only by the colleges, but nowadays by the schools as well, to encourage students to think beyond job and beyond 9 to 5 work lifestyle. And I believe that that's where your school makes a very important deliberate to attract the students and to have
Yeah,
a look at the entrepreneur exposure
yeah,
along with your studies.
yeah.
Uh, Perfect, Nick. The next question comes here is that uh, since you have got three campuses, how can student maximize the campus transfer opportunities among these three campuses?
So you can, let's say you take an MBA or a master's, for example. These courses are split into 3 terms. Students have the opportunity to start either in January, March, or October. And students actually take advantage of doing one term, for example, which is 10 weeks long. Let's say they start in Germany. They have their German student card, the residence card. They can study in Germany, and then they can actually go to Switzerland for one term. They could go to our Geneva or Montreux campus and spend within those 90 days you're allowed outside within the Schengen zone. You can actually study for a full term without changing your student residence card. So you could come study in Switzerland for one term, or study in Barcelona in Spain, return to Germany for your third term, and then you've benefited from a multi-campus experience. And we have multiple Indian students. I've got a few in mind that have had this experience, and they've really spoken highly of it. They extend their network of friends. They experience another culture, city. It's really fun. It's really enriching. So once again, this is a great, I would say 20-30% of our students do this. Very few from South Asia. I think maybe 10%, 5% from India do it. But it's something I would recommend.
Yeah, I think it's a best way to call your education as an international education by
Mm,
being there in the three different countries for the three different dumps. Yes, I mean it requires a little bit of push, because by the time you are trying to get settled in one country, you're still have to move on. But I guess this is one of its kind experiences which you don't want to miss as a student, because after the education is over, yes, your job opportunities may not allow you to be so frequent traveler. So why
correct.
not take that as an opportunity as a student and
Mm,
travel and explore the country and culture, which
yeah.
is very important. Absolutely. So, friends, if you're looking for multicultural, country experience within a given degree without going through the hassles of applying a separate visa, this is the place whereby you want to enter it. Okay, so let's move on to the next point. Nick, would you like to talk a little bit more about your popular programs? I know that you have a lot of specializations available, but do you
Mm,
want to talk or pick up three
yeah,
or four specializations from the Indian students' point of view, which are very famous, and what are their
definitely.
intakes?
Mm. So we offer the full gamut, so to speak. So students that are coming out of high school, we offer foundation programs all the way through to a DBA program, and we're offering this DBA in Switzerland. But the meat and potatoes, the programs that our students are typically going for are our bachelors. So we've got bachelor programs which are either 6 semesters or 7 semesters. We've got a full range of different specializations which are available. We look at the popular ones. Obviously, pure business management remains very popular, but then we've got other majors in finance and HR, and you've got sports management. You've got digital business now, which is really becoming popular as well. I would say the next level up is the master's degree, and this is a 3-term program which has a pathway. So specialization from term 1 to term 3. And this program is at a price point which is quite a lot cheaper than the MBA, so it's more affordable. What is good about the master's program as well is that it has some really exciting new majors. We have a specialization in, it's like a business analytics, data science and business analytics, which is new. We also have at an MBA level, we have cloud computing, project management, information systems. We've got HR, finance. So these are some of the popular choices. It's true that a lot of the students are coming, I find, from India with an engineering or a finance background or HR background. They're looking to do like an international management degree. So that remains the most popular choice because you can really combine it with your previous degree. Sometimes people want to stick it out in one particular line, but I think it's good to have a combination. An engineering degree plus international marketing or an international, international business. These are typically a good combination.
Yes, in fact, you said very rightly, because a lot of engineering students, especially coming out from the major cities, they would like to combine the engineering and management options.
Yes,
And we have got a lot of success stories of a startup who are coming with the similar academic background and taking this as
yes,
a route, so that it helps them to start their new venture with a more of management aspects and management skills. So, friends,
definitely.
if you are looking for this option, which Nick has just pointed out, I think the EU Business School makes a lot of sense for you to consider in any of these three campuses based on the specialization offered by them. Nick, what would be the typical eligibility criteria? Like, if I'm talking more about focusing on MBA program and master's program,
Yeah.
does a student need to take up any entrance exam like GMAT or GRE or IELTS, etc.?
Yeah. So once again, I mean, I think as I mentioned to you earlier, the drive in EU, what we're passionate about is entrepreneurship. We have a very holistic approach when we assess application files. I mean, last week alone, we had 1 or 2 students. I had one student who was in his 50s who got his visa and will be joining the MBA program in Munich. So we do have some students with a rich background, a professional background. And for us, that really is a key point. That said, we do look at the classic, entry requirements. Obviously, you need your bachelor degree, you need a specific grade, depending on the program. It's often about 55 minimum, but typically 65, 70% from India. We call it a 3.0 over 4 GPA. GMAT or GRE is not mandatory. However, if you've taken it, it's beneficial for your application file. We do look at a medium of instruction because many students in India have studied in English and are proficient. If you haven't done IELTS or TOEFL, you can do our internal English exam followed up by admissions interview. We do need 2 letters of recommendation and all the other typical documents for your admission process. But these are the basic requirements. Yes.
Right. So I think it's quite straightforward. And students, if you are looking for a master's or MBA program, typically, then you have got the typical requirement, which is been required by all other business schools. But one relaxation point is that the GRE or GMAT is not mandatory. So if you have got a good grades and if you make an application which is acceptable to the academic board, you can still make into your particular program without having gone through this exam. Nick, there are lots of questions are coming in asking for the scholarships. So, do
Yeah.
we have any scope for scholarship for bachelors as well as for MBA students?
Yes, there are scholarships available. They're a limited number. We really look at the different geographical regions. So for South Asia, we have what we call merit-based scholarships. We've got 4 of these which are available for the next period, for the next recruitment season, so to speak. And these vary. It could be 5, 10, 15, 20, up to 30%. Typically, students aren't getting below 15, and to get 30%, you really have to have top academic credentials. So that's on the one side. We have a second bracket of scholarships, which are called ambassador scholarships. These are for students that are going to help us out during the year in terms of supporting the business school at different events, or writing blogs, being there for different fly-ins, for different marketing initiatives as well. So this is a great learning opportunity. It's almost like an internship. So we have 4 scholarships for ambassadors, and then we also have what we call the classic early bird scholarship for the first intakes of next year. So these end at the end of October. So if you're keen to apply for the MBA, which starts in Jan or in March, you would need to make that application this month. But if you're keen for the October intake, you can make that application before the end of the year, and you'll benefit from 10% for these different on the full tuition fee.
Okay, so quite interesting, friends. So you have got a scholarship up to 30% to grab for based on your academic and your background. So if you need any further assistance after listening this very interesting information, do contact us on our helpline number, and we'll be more than happy to assist you to get through EU Business School process with some scholarships. My next question is quite obvious. After learning about the country, city, and the school, what as a student I would want to know is that what are my career options through this school? So how am I going to be assisted by the schools to find my right career? So what do you got to say, Nick, about this?
Yeah, good question, because I think from the off the bat, what I would say is that once again, there's a difference in European mentality from the Indian market. What I'm familiar with in India is that some of the bigger colleges have kind of placement days where firms come or companies come and they recruit en masse. This is less of a concept in Europe. Typically, as an individual, this is why we want to train people to be very entrepreneurial, forthright, and to really take the bull by the horns in terms of trying to look for work and be recruitable. So what I say to students as well is that you've got to understand you partner with EU Business School. So we have the resources, we've got the experience, we've got the contacts, we've got many students that have worked in these cities in different firms. If you look at a place like Germany, for example, our Munich campus, there's very, very low unemployment in Munich. Aslam recently, earlier, he suggested that the figure is 5% across Germany. Well, in Munich, it's closer to 3%. So Munich has got really low unemployment. We've got students that have worked at places like Allianz, which is the big insurance firm. You've got BMW. You've got which other Google. We've got Microsoft, where students have worked as well. We've got Flixbus, which is a mobility big bus firm across Europe. So these are some of the companies which have taken on our students. We've also had Indian students go to Huawei, which is the Chinese, obviously, mobile company, electronics company, and they've recruited many of our Indian students. Siemens is another company which has recruited quite a lot of our Indian students. So I think what we can do is we can provide the contacts, we can provide the success stories, former students. We've got events throughout the year. We've got a series called Learning from Leaders, where we aim to expose our students to some of the top leaders in industry, whether it be the CEO or former chairman of Nestle. We had people from PepsiCo, top people from HR companies. What we're really trying to do is expose our students to great success stories and inspire them to see the best in themselves. And I think that's where EU can partner with you as a student and really see you succeed. So that's what we're passionate about. It's not about handing on a silver platter a job, but what we can do is provide all the tips and tools and events, etc., that go around it.
Absolutely. I think that's the same thing what otherwise students would also expect here in India. When you graduate or you're graduating, the school takes an effort to help you to find the right job through the different events and the techniques and the preparation, which is very important. And friends, yes, as Nick said, that there are big brands who are recruiting students from EU Business School. So if you would like to be among them, then definitely you can look at EU Business School for your higher education in any of these three campuses. Thank you, Nick, for such an interesting insight which you shared with us. And I'm sure that with this information, students and parents would be a little more confident, and they will be more clear about why should they look at this particular business school as compared to other ones which are there in these countries.
Sure.
Before we conclude the session on time, just would like to have your one-line success advice, because you've been advising the students across South Asia and you've been traveling a lot. I know that you know India as well as anybody else would know the country. So, considering the students and parents' concerns and worries in this given point of time, what would be your advice for the students who are still looking out for higher education in abroad?
First, to dream. I think dreaming is where it all starts. Don't think it's for your neighbor. So dream, believe in yourself, be patient, and listen to advice. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. Bang on target. Nick says that dream big, dream and have a patience and look at the options which are available for you. Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you very much for your time and your very interesting conversation. Very short, sweet, and crisp to the point. And I believe that this would help the students and parents to take their forward decision.
Thanks so much, Aslam. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, friends, for watching this show. And the recording will be available soon. Those who are going to miss or who wants to share this very interesting conversation of within 30 minutes with your friends or relatives who might be also interested to explore these countries for the business and MBA program. So, in case if you still have any further question to ask us, you can contact us on our helpline number, that's 9987099890, or visit our website alif.in. Our experienced counselor will be happy to assist you instantly. My name is Aslam Sheikh, founder and CEO of Alif, signing off with a promise to come back again on next Friday, sharp at 5 p.m. with another interesting topic and with some amazingly talented speaker enlightening you on a subject that matters to you the most. Until then, stay safe and stay excited.